I wanted to ask you really quickly. This came from someone who wanted me to pose this question to you. This is a DHS official and somebody who I think brought up an excellent point. They said to me, I heard the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, say children and family units are fleeing persecution and violence in their countries. Can someone please ask her? Maybe you can ask the Biden administration. Can someone please ask her if the White House plans on sanctioning the governments of Brazil, India, and Romania for persecuting their citizens, causing a very large percentage of our family groups coming from those countries who are seeking to come into the United States for asylum and then getting released into the U.S. I had no idea these countries were as tyrannical as North Korea. Busloads of Romanians and Indians, and they used some expletives there. And then she followed up with, we are offering them educational, mental health, and medical services. So follow up with a question, how can inner city Americans get the same type of access and services free of charge for what they've been through as well?
That is a great question, because when you look at the big COVID bill they just passed, it less than 9% goes to COVID. They got a big chunk in there to play for the health care of illegals, not Americans.
Right. And what about the kids in Chicago? What about the kids in Chicago? What about the kids in Baltimore, in the inner city that are suffering? What about the American people? I mean, has anyone in the Biden administration explained to you why they're allocating so much money and perpetuating this horrific crisis at the border? Has anyone even explained with common sense why this is?
No, because he hasn't done a press conference in 50 days. I've asked for a meeting as the Republican leader about the crisis on the border. He hasn't even acknowledged there's a crisis on the border when everybody else has. They're overwhelmed with the number of children coming across. You talk about the amount of drugs coming across. Drugs are just valuable as children now, and smuggling is making as much money as drugs is. And it puts a number of people in harm's way. The children, the women, and others, the human trafficking that is happening. This is a major crisis that the president is ignoring, but he created.